It was on a crisp autumn night that the first cracks in my reality began to appear. Claire, my wife, claimed she was spending the evening with friends, leaving me at home with an old movie and a half-finished bottle of wine. 7 years of marriage had taught me her rhythms, her habits, her tells. But that night, something felt off. Her voice over the phone was just a little too cheerful, her laughter slightly strained. I tried to shake it off, telling myself I was reading too much into things. Just after midnight, she came through the door, laughing like a teenager sneaking in past curfew. Her cheeks were flushed, her hair a little mussed, and she carried a faint trace of someone else's cologne. My stomach twisted, but I kept my face neutral, pretending not to notice. She collapsed onto the couch, kicked off her heels, and flashed me a carefree smile. "You're in a good mood," I remarked, setting my glass aside. "Yeah, it was a great night," she said in a pitch higher than usual. "The girls and I had a blast. Nothing wild, just drinks and some laughs." I nodded, playing along, though I studied her closely. As the night went on, I noticed she avoided my eyes and clung to her phone like a lifeline. I kept my thoughts to myself. Confrontation wasn't my way, not yet. For now, I would watch and wait. After all, trust was supposed to be the cornerstone of our marriage. The next morning, Claire was in an unusually good mood, humming while she cooked breakfast. Her phone buzzed again and again, but she ignored it. When she stepped out of the room, I couldn't resist. My heart pounded as I picked it up and unlocked it. Our shared passcodes, once a sign of intimacy, now felt like a cruel joke. The truth stared back at me. "Last night was incredible. Read one message. I can still feel your touch." My vision swam as I scrolled through the flood of texts from someone saved as M. Photos followed. Claire in a dimly lit hotel room, laughing with a man I didn't know, a drink in hand, his arm around her. The betrayal hit like a physical strike, knocking the air from my lungs. I set the phone back exactly where it had been and forced myself to stay calm. Rage would have its time, but not yet. She returned moments later, kissing my cheek and placing a plate of eggs in front of me as though nothing had changed. How could she sit there smiling after what she'd done? Over the next few days, I became a quiet observer in my own home, gathering every scrap of proof I could, messages, photos, even receipts she carelessly left behind. It wasn't just one night. They'd been meeting for months, stealing what I thought belonged to us. My anger hardened into resolve. Outwardly, I was still the loving husband, cooking her favorite meals, laughing at her jokes, even suggesting a weekend away, just the two of us. Claire seemed relieved, almost as if my affection erased her guilt. She had no idea this was the prelude to her downfall. I booked us a secluded cabin in the mountains. She was ecstatic, gushing about how badly she needed a getaway. I packed everything with care, including my new hobby, photography gear. She didn't question it. The first night was picture perfect. We sipped wine by the fire, reminisced about our early years, even danced under the stars. But my thoughts were fixed on what was coming. The next morning, I told her I wanted to photograph the scenery while she slept in. She snuggled deeper into the blankets as I left. Not for landscapes, but to place cameras around the cabin, discreetly capturing every angle I might need. When she woke, I suggested a hike to a beautiful spot nearby. She hesitated, then agreed. For a few hours we walked the trails, and I almost forgot. Back at the cabin, her phone kept buzzing. She glanced at it, looking irritated. "Work stuff," she muttered. I knew better. That night, I poured her glass after glass of wine as I cooked her favorite dinner. She laughed freely, completely unaware. When she stepped away, I took her phone, sent one message to him. "Let's end this," and erased the conversation. By the time we got home, she was her usual self again, until she reached for her purse and froze. "My wedding ring," she whispered, panic in her eyes. Feigning concern, I asked, "When did you last have it?" "I'm not sure," she stammered. I'd hidden it, of course. That ring, once a symbol of our vows, was now part of my plan. The next day, I set everything in motion. On the kitchen table, I left a file, neatly organized proof of her affair. Photos, texts, receipts, everything. When she found it, the color drained from her face. "What is this?" she whispered. "The truth," I said evenly. She tried to explain, to justify, but I cut her off. I don't want excuses, Claire. I want you gone. Tears streamed down her face. Please, we can fix this. I'll do anything. It's too late, I replied coldly. I'd already met with a lawyer. The evidence would secure me everything. House, car, savings. She never saw it coming. As she packed through her sobs, I felt no guilt. She'd destroyed our marriage. This was justice. In the weeks that followed, I rebuilt my life. Claire, abandoned by Am, and shunned by friends who now knew the truth, was left with nothing. One evening, whiskey in hand on the porch, I thought about it all. The betrayal still ached, but alongside it was something sharper, triumph. Claire's laughter no longer haunted me. It had been replaced by my own. The sound of freedom, resilience, and the sweet, undeniable taste of revenge.